People say work-life balance, and I know that's probably what you think I mean when I say radical rest. Make sure you have a rest practice, but it's a myth. There ain't no work-life balance. Robert Smith, a billionaire, said, work-life balance? Yeah, you can have work-life balance if your life is work. At that time, I was working, like hustling really, really hard. And what I found is that that doesn't work for me. I was listening to the Gary Vaynerchuk's and I'll sleep when I'm dead and all that. And it did burn me out. That's not what I subscribe to now. When I rested is when my business thrived the most. When I rested, I rested hard. I put processes and systems in place so that I could rest more. That's what made me actually thrive. I rest in sprints and I work in sprints. And what I mean by that is I'm like one of those people that you flip a switch on. Either the switch is all the way on or the switch is all the way off. I work late at night. I can work until 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 5 or 6 and still be at it. And I love it and it feels great. Once I birth that other project launch, it's like having a release. It's like giving birth. And then I just relax. I've done it time and again when I launched my first course, second course, when I launched the retreat, when I hosted the retreat, I rested for like 3 months. And it was a deep physical, mental, spiritual rest, radical rest. When I exercise, I do the same thing. People may think that I'm consistent and I have this routine and I work out 3 times a week or something. I don't. I go really, really hard with my workout for probably 90 days and I'll work out every day or every other day. And then I just stop. And I used to think something was wrong with me. In fact, one of my cousins called me waffly because I was the type of person that would start something. And when I was done with it, when I was finished, I'd stop. But I didn't give myself enough credit for my body understanding that I'm done. It doesn't want anymore. It doesn't need anymore. You've had your fill. Move on to the next thing that fulfills you. I do it with podcasts or with other influencers that I may follow. Once I have reached a level of understanding or grasping that thing, I can move on to conquer the next thing. And so, yeah, I embody some of the Gary Vaynerchuk's, the Alex Hermosis, some of the Maya Angelou. I'll never stop listening to her. And then once I'm done and I've taken in all of that information, my body, my actions, my activity moves with that knowledge. Once you see it, once you hear it, you can't unhear it, you can't unsee it. I started off saying that rest, work, balance is a myth. And that's for those of us who work in sprints and rest in sprints and maybe work out in sprints. As opposed to saying that it's like inconsistent, I always see a project through to the end. I always hit that body fat percentage goal before I relax. I always hit the goal. And if I were someone that would start something and then quit before I realized the goal or the tactics so that I could reach my goal, then yeah, maybe you can be called inconsistent. But I fill myself up on the thing that matters to me at that time. And then I move on to whatever is next for me. Work hard, play hard. I believe in that. I'm sure that's what this sprint-like lifestyle that I lead that feels good to my body and my mind is called. And I embrace that instead of embracing society's fad for the moment. I think you should go deep in whatever feels right to your mind and body as long as it's getting you to the benchmark that you define for yourself, not that you allow someone else to define for you. Go hard and go deep. Go all the way in and then come up for air. If that works for you, you have permission to do that now. We're not the weirdos. We're no longer the inconsistent people. We've been called ADD or ADHD or something like that. And that's fine. I'll embrace whatever informal, non-medically diagnosed titles I've been given, but it's also worked for me. When I decided to stop thinking it was a weakness, when I decided to embrace that way of life and that way of living, it actually works for me because I'm not moving through the way that I do things with shame. I no longer have this lingering shame in the back of my mind Instead, I'm embracing the way that I show up and everything within it, and creating a world around me that moves and flows the way that my mind and my body needs it to, without external force or society telling me the way that it should be done, even if it's difficult or doesn't work for me. Still doing what the experts say is the way to get it done. That didn't work. So, my advice to you is, if you don't know what lights you up, if you don't know what charges you and judges you up, find out. Do many things. Climb a mountain, climb a small mountain, run if you want to run, sprint if you want to sprint, race your kids up and down the street like I used to do. Go to Orange Theory, lift weights, do kickboxing, turn on YouTube, take a course, do a turn on YouTube, do some yoga, do some Pilates at home. Find out what lights you up. Take that dance class, teach a course, invite some friends and tell them something, teach them about something that could benefit all of them, that you have, that's in you, that you may think everybody already knows, but it's yours and it's your gift. And share it with them and see if that is something that lights you up. Find your thing, do it, and do it hard. Find your rest, do that, and do that hard. And when I say rest, and when I say radical rest, what I mean is find the thing that charges you up and allows you to do more of the thing that provides massive value and has an impact the way that you desire on society. Until then, I'm going to keep resting and thriving. I'm on my way back to work. Really, on my way back to work. But I had to come in, chime in, and say this because it was on my heart as I sat here absorbing the last few minutes of sun on this beautiful vacation in Aruba. And that's my point of view. Wouldn't give it up for anything in the world, but I wouldn't give it up for anything in the world.